This was my hair in 2020. It was flourishing. I was so happy with my hair and thankful for how much it had grown out. It was thick, long, and very healthy. Then came 2021, the year of troubles and many setbacks with my hair. 2021 actually started off good enough because I got a new job and business was going really well. So I can say January to March was good. Then in around April to May, the problems started. I had a terrible scalp flare. Trust me, I had never experienced anything like this before. I didn't know what it was or what caused it at the time, but yes, that was my first experience with seborrheic dermatitis. Scared, confused. Those words were an understatement to describe how I felt. I was vegan for roughly 2 years. And what brought on my seborrheic dermatitis is the fact that I changed my diet upon getting my new job, and I started to reindulge a lot of dairy and sugary products. I wish I could go back in time, guys, but I can't because I don't know what I was thinking. Dairy has never been good to my body. It had never been good, and this time it did worse to me than it had ever done. But anyways, what was done was already done. I had to figure out a way to deal with this thing. I had to figure out a way to get rid of it, and it took me a few months to figure this out because I didn't really get it under control until about September. Yeah, I had to break up with dairy and sugar because they were toxic for me. I think because my body didn't have them for such a long time, it was like a shock to it. At least that is what I think, but I should have done better. But anyways, as soon as I broke up with dairy and sugar and upped my water intake, I saw a major difference in my scalp. It had cleared up so much. Yeah, I was really happy for that. But just when I thought that everything was all good again, problems not done. Problems just a start. Out of nowhere, guys, my hair started falling out. I would be detangling and my hair would just be coming out in excess. Yeah, things went from bad to worse at this point. Do you see the picture? Yeah, I noticed a difference in how my hair looked and felt. It looked thin and limpy, and it had this weird feeling. It was also frizzy, and I mean very frizzy, and it had this soggy feeling, like, you know, soggy noodles. It's like when you leave the noodles in water and they get all soft and mushy. That's how my hair felt. That feeling like it was severely weak and would just melt in my hands or just crumble apart in my hands. Because of this, I was afraid to detangle my hair and would just be in constant anxiety whenever I had to deal with my hair, because not only was my hair falling out, it just felt weird, like it felt weak. It's as if I just didn't want to touch it. I thought maybe I was a little stressed from starting a new job, so maybe I should just do a black tea rinse and that would help. But when I saw that I was doing black tea rinses and they weren't working, I knew something else was going on. Yes, so girl had to get serious and begin the researching process because I needed to know what this was and how to fix it as fast as I could, because I was losing my hair and it was looking thinner and thinner. Night and day I would search, read and watch videos after videos. Then I finally figured it out. Yeah, that was in November, so it took me about a month. And can you believe what I found is that my hair was moisture overloaded? Now, who would think something like that exists? Like, seriously? Moisture overloaded? What in the world? I can only laugh now because I got over it. But yes, I was shocked that something like this exists. But when I read up on it and I stumbled on all the information about it, everything started to unfold and make a little bit more sense. It was like sunlight came through. Oh yeah, and I'm just remembering that I had also started to finger detangle in around June, so I was reasoning that maybe because finger detangling doesn't get out all the shed hair, that was the reason why my hair was shedding excessively, because my shed hairs probably had got trapped in my roots and they were finally coming out. But yeah, I was wrong about that. You see, what really happened, guys, is that when I was going through my scalp situation, I had to be washing my hair every 2 weeks. And while that was more often than I would usually wash my hair, that wasn't really the problem. The problem was that I was leaving my conditioners in overnight. So I was sleeping in my conditioners. What I would usually do is I took down my hair Saturday night, I detangle it with my Tresemme conditioner mixed with aloe vera. Of course, you guys know I love aloe vera. And I would leave that in my hair, not rinse it out, leave it in and cover it with a plastic bag or a shower cap, and I would head straight to bed. Yeah, and so I did this from May to around September. Yeah, crazy. But the thing is, I don't have all the time in the world for my hair. Sunday is the only time I get to reset and do all the chores and all of that. So I thought that starting the process Saturday night and just having to get up and rinse out the conditioner, shampoo, and continue the process, I would get through wash day a lot faster. So that's what I was doing. Since I had to be washing it, it was a must to do. I had to wash my hair every 2 weeks, unless I would have to be walking around with flakes in my head. Yeah, so that was my then solution that butchered my hair. It's when you don't know better, guys. There's no better to do, okay? You ever just look back, guys, and just laugh at yourself? I mean, we all make mistakes, so we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves. But I mean, who would think that this is possible? I didn't know. I really didn't know, because I have heard naturals say they do this. They sleep in their conditioners overnight. But I guess we all have to make mistakes to learn. And I'm going to tell you this. Please don't do this. If you are already doing it and it's working for you, it's not a good idea. I know I always preach that do what works for you, but this is different. You see, the thing is, the reason why this is damaging is because your hair is left wet for a prolonged period of time. Moisture is good, but moisture can also cause things to rot. Moisture can also cause things to break down. It can cause damage. So leaving your hair like this for a prolonged period of time and doing it consistently, it will cause some damages. I mean, probably if I had done it like for a month, I could have escaped the effects of it, but because I was doing it for months, that is how it caught. I know some persons have low porosity hair, so it might take a longer time to affect them, but our hair is not impenetrable. It can be penetrated, so even if you have low porosity hair, this will affect you after some time, because the water is going to penetrate your hair and it's going to break down your hair's protein bonds and cause it to get weaker each time you do this. But yes, guys, 2021 was the worst year for my natural hair. In that year, I went from having thick healthy, fluffy looking hair to having thin, limp and mushy looking hair that was weak and also lacked elasticity. I could look on my hair and tell that it's unhealthy, and I know others could too. But this is not the end of my story, because I was able to nurse my hair back to health, and I was also able to get it to thicken up again. If you're interested to know how I did that, then subscribe if you aren't subscribed already, and keep a lookout for part 2, where I will be sharing all the things I did. I will be sharing the products I used, the tips I implemented, and this information will not just be for persons who have moisture overload, but anyone can use these products and tips to fix their damaged hair, because you don't always have to head for the scissors. Sometimes you can nurse your hair back to health.